UK Ministry of Defence has just published their latest intelligence update on the situation. They say that fighting northwest of Kyiv continues, with the bulk of Russian ground forces now around 25 kilometres from the city centre. However, they say that elements of that large Russian column north of Kyiv have dispersed. They say this is likely to support a Russian attempt to encircle the city, and it could also be an attempt by Russia to reduce its vulnerability to Ukrainian counterattacks, which have taken a significant toll, the MOD say. Of course, we were reporting on that yesterday, the videos of those being attacked as they try to move slowly forward. Finally, the MOD says beyond Kyiv, the cities of Kharkiv, Chernihiv, Sumy and Mariupol remain encircled and continue to suffer heavy Russian shelling. Well, it's been described as the fastest growing refugee crisis in Europe since the Second World War, with more than 2 million people who have already fled and millions more who could follow. And questions persist about what we are doing here in the UK. 6 in 10 people believe that the UK is not doing enough to help Ukrainian refugees, a YouGov poll for The Times suggests this morning. But what about elsewhere? One of those who made it out safely is Andrei Vasylchenko, who fled Kharkiv with his family and is now in Athens, and he's live with us this morning. Andrei, welcome.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thanks very much for your time. First of all, how are you now, and why did you end up in Athens?
Okay, so I'm totally safe right now. Yes, that's right. I'm in Athens, Greece. So I took a very quick evacuate train from Kharkiv to Transcarpathia, the western region in Ukraine, by far the safest in the country. And then I took a train to Budapest, and then on the next day, 4th of March, I was here. I was here in Greece.
And what has the welcome been like?
Well, taking this occasion, I want to thank all the volunteers who were in Hungary. All of them were so happy to help us. There were a lot of refugees coming from a train, and we can say that the volunteers were so many, so uh, of, almost everybody could have a help. People there provided all necessities like food, clothes, and even a free place to live.
And did you have to do anything before you entered Greece? Was there lots of paperwork to do, or did you just have to get there?
Well, it was okay. The only problem was my college certificate, so I took PLP test before PCR test before the arrival day. So yes, those are only document I needed.
So that was the only documentation you had to fill out as you were fleeing to Greece, was just a COVID test. Incredible.
Yes, and obviously my passport and the most important documents, obviously.
Yeah. And what about your family? Your family are with you?
No, my family is currently in Budapest, but my father will see me in 3 days. He will come to me in Greece.
And Andrei, obviously now, as you said, you're in a much better situation. You're safe. How does it feel to see all the news reports about what is happening in Kharkiv and other Ukrainian cities at the moment?
Of course, I'm watching all the news 24/7, and this is so horrible to hear that news. You know that in Kharkiv, municipal authorities of the city, the biggest square in Europe, is totally destroyed now. The university, second largest university called Kharkiv, Kharkiv National University, is being totally destroyed now. So of course, tears are coming up from my face when I see these types of photos, news. So yeah.
And are you hearing from friends who weren't as lucky as you and are maybe still stuck there?
Of course, some of my friends are evacuated and now are near Lviv, but my very close friend who is now in Kharkiv countryside is in very dangerous situation. Even in the city where there are only 20 to 50 people living, they can hear the shellings, and obviously it's so hard to evacuate now and across the country because traffic jams on roads are so big. You know, the it takes nearly 5 hours to move on the road for 80
Yeah.
kilometers only.
And what's the plan for you now, Andrei? Are you going to stay in Greece? Are you going to stay in Athens, or is there somewhere else that you want to end up?
Well, I've thought about the situation. I've considered it with my dad, and we think either I will stay here in Greece for a couple of months and apply for refugee status here, otherwise, or I would like to move to the UK. And I've heard of some sponsorship companies. My father has a few good friends who live in London, so maybe I would study in some cheap university, and so I would absolutely legally stay in England for at least 3 to 4 years, so that I will have enough evidence to apply for refugee status there.
Andrei, good to talk to you this morning. Thank you for your time and best of luck. Andrei
Thank
Vasylchenko,
you.
who, as he explained there, fled Kharkiv, is now in Athens and planning his next step.